everyone, and welcome back to Couples Wealth, where we are on a mission to help couples everywhere have better conversations about money and build wealth together.
I am Trevor Jackson, a real financial expert.
And I am Jackie Jackson, a lady with a credit card and his amazing wife.
So today what we're going to do is we're going to go over our personal strategy for building wealth. So you've probably seen other people's strategies, like maybe you've read a financial book or two, or you've listened to some of the talking heads out there on TV or on the radio. And so you've heard their steps, but today we're going to go over our steps for personal wealth and what's working for us so far.
Step number one is pretty much step number one in every single resource out there.
Yep.
But definitely true, super important, saving $1,000 to an emergency fund. Now, American savings statistics from 2020 said that 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings, which is up from 58% in 2018. Shouldn't come as a super big shock in that, 2020 was a crazy year. But shock, that's a huge number. For 70% of people not to have $1,000 in savings.
Yeah. I remember when we were very first starting out, having $1,000 sitting in savings seemed like a ton of money, right? I couldn't believe it. Like, why is that just sitting there? Can't we do something with that, right?
Well, and
Anyway.
he just mentioned like, oh, it seemed like a lot to have just sitting there. True, but I remember getting there. That was also like, oh my goodness, that felt crazy. But it really is $1,000, and that is going to cover you for pretty much all of the smaller basic emergencies that are going to come up.
Your view of $1,000 might be different. You might be thinking, holy cow, $1,000. You might think it's just $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it's important to have that there. You'll be amazed at how many times you use it and how important it is to make sure you have at least something liquid.
Yes.
Right, sitting there.
Yes, and I do know it's amazing how reaching that goal of $1,000 really has also prevented me from spending that money.
Yeah.
I mean, my willingness to tap into that $1,000, I don't want to do that at all. I will find another way most of the time. And that's because, as soon as you tap into that $1,000, you need to stop all of these other steps and build that back up to $1,000. So what do you use your $1,000 emergency fund on?
Bourbon.
Subscription streaming service.
New golf clubs.
The Victoria's Secret semi-annual sale.
Fancy shoes.
The buy one get one sale at Sephora.
A boat.
A ski trip with friends.
A clown car.
Your car broke down.
There's a hailstorm and you got to pay the deductible for a new roof.
Kids trip to the emergency room.
Your water pump goes out. So our next step is what we call CYA, or cover your assets.
Oh.
Cover your assets.
Assets.
That's right. So in my business, it's what we call setting up your financial foundation, right, which is called protection. So it includes setting up all the things that protect us from losing everything that we have. So it includes your health insurance. If we get sick, then that way, we don't lose everything that we have there, right, in medical bills and whatnot. Our car insurance, so that if we get in a car accident, somebody doesn't sue us and we lose everything that we have there, right? So it's important to have the right car insurance and home insurance and things like that. One of the biggest things that I help people with all the time is their life insurance. Now, most people do have a life insurance policy in their portfolio. Now, I use a different type of life insurance policy that most people have not heard of, and it's something called living benefit. And what that does is, yes, if you have an early death, a premature death, then yes, your beneficiaries will get a large lump sum of money. But also, if you get sick, your life insurance can pay you as well. So if you have a terminal illness, a critical illness like a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, or a chronic illness like a long-term care type need, then your life insurance can pay you there as well. And nowadays, that's more likely to happen to us, and it is much more financially devastating. Because if I can't work for 12 months or 24 months, well, who pays my bills? I have health insurance, so they're going to pay my medical bills, but who still pays the mortgage and, makes the car payments and, does all those other things? Well, that's still me.
And I don't want it to be me.
No, me neither. Me neither. I want somebody else to pay for it, right? And so for the majority of people, we don't have a large lump sum of money just sitting there available to take. So what happens is we start draining our 401ks, or we drain our IRAs. And then once those are gone, we have to sell the house, and we have to start selling all these other things. So what if you had something in place that protected, yes, I mean life insurance, but also protected your asset, protected all of that. That way, if you couldn't work, you got a lump sum of money to then, help pay all of those bills. I'd rather have somebody else pay for it. So I talked to everybody about that. So there was a survey conducted by our buddy Dave over at Ramsey Solutions in 2017, and he found that 86% of marriages are starting in debt. And that's compared to 43% of marriages just 25 years ago. So that's pretty crazy, right?
Did any of you out there start in debt in your marriage?
Nailed it.
I did.
Got that piece. Now, paying off debt does not look the same for everyone, right? We've all got our own unique things. So for a lot of us, it might be student loans, right? Or for some of us, it might be credit card debt. Now, it is very important that we are honest about our debt and we're not hiding things from our partner. We definitely don't want to be accruing debt somewhere else and keeping that hidden.
He keeps looking at me like that's a thing. That is not a thing.
If you don't know this, that might create problems in your marriage, so do not do that. That's right.
As the spender in the relationship, I have to tell you guys, I don't find any of these steps fun or exciting. This guy does. He nerds out over these things. But this one is pretty self-explanatory. 3 to 6 months of your expenses. Again, kind of depends on your own personal situation, on how much you actually think you will need. What I really want to tell you guys about here is something that has changed my entire perception of the emergency fund. And I have to credit it to this book right here, Think Like a Breadwinner, by Jennifer Barrett. I'll link it down below if you guys are interested. Amazing book for women, and really the spender in me, I feel like it's the first financial book I've read that says, yes, I see you, spender, and let me tell you strategies that are actually going to help you. And one of them is that the emergency fund is not an emergency fund. It is an F-off fund. And the power in that, now you know which F I'm talking about.
Freedom.
Freedom. The Freedom Fund.
Yes, freedom. Yes.
No, all of us have had those situations in life, especially as it relates to our careers, where maybe our values don't align with our employer, or we're doing something in our career or in our life that we stick around longer than we would like because we have to, because financially we cannot afford to step away from that. And the power that this has given me and excited me over getting to save my F-off fund.
She is much happier.
I am so excited. Yeah. I am so excited about our F-off fund. I can't even tell you.
I wasn't joking about the freedom piece, right? The F-off fund gives you freedom. It gives you freedom.
That is true.
Right,
we could call it a freedom fund.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, you can do a lot more things.
The freedom to say good day.
Good day.
I said good day!
And our last step is invest and give. So this is where a lot of people are already getting started on the wrong track. They are skipping the prior steps and going straight to investing. Here's the problem with that. Let's say I start investing, I start buying mutual fund stocks, whatnot, and I have no other savings. If I have not set up an emergency fund and the car breaks down, guess where I'm taking that? Out of my investments. If I don't have my protection steps set up correctly, and I have a health issue, right? I have to go to the doctor, but I don't have any health insurance. That might be a pretty expensive trip. There goes your investment. Or let's say you did not pay off your debt. Well, mathematically, you're not getting ahead. Let's say you're earning 8 to 10% in your investments, but you're paying 18 to 24% on your credit cards. Guess what? Mathematically, that does not work.
He is the math one in the relationship, but even I know that does not add up.
You don't have to be a math person to figure that one out, right? So do not skip these prior steps. Get those done, then we can get aggressive into our investing. And once we get there, we can start diving into the market, buying stocks, mutual funds, commodities, cryptocurrencies. We can do real estate investing. Whatever you want to do, that's where we can get creative and aggressive with that investing. Here, we want to start investing a minimum of 10 to 15% of what we're bringing in every single month.
Yeah. And so the second part of this step for us, and it is really all part of the same step, is to give. And we really believe that what you give comes back to you. So it's really important to us, and we are looking forward to it so much to be able to get to this step and start giving money. And I want to be really clear that while you're doing the rest of these steps, it does not mean that you cannot give. It just means that there are other ways to give. You can give your time, you can give your skills. It doesn't have to be money that you give to be giving.
Yeah, we've all been helped in our lives. People have given us assistance. I'm sure you're in the same boat. I've also read quite a few books from people who are wealthy. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and some of the things that it sounds like they enjoy the most is giving back. Mm-hmm. Giving away that money, helping as many people as they can, and it seems just so fulfilling. And we just really can't wait to get to that step. And that sounds, very, very exciting for us.
Yes, absolutely. Overall, these are the general steps that we're working on. Again, we have read a number of books. We have done a lot of research. We have a real financial guy here who helped outline these steps for us. But this is also something that we could agree together meant the most to us and was going to help us the most based on where we are on our journey to become financially successful together. So if you guys ever do have any questions about these, feel free to reach out directly to us. We are going to dive more into each of these in future videos, but you don't have to wait for those. If you do have more questions, feel free to reach out and we're happy to talk to you more about them.
So follow, subscribe. Definitely subscribe to YouTube. We need 100 subscribers. This is very important to everybody. So that we actually get a cool link. That way it says Couples Wealth instead of Couples Wealth or YouTube.nrspk blah blah blah.
4572.
That's right. We want Couples Wealth. That would be awesome. So subscribe. That would be fantastic.
Yes, that's that button right over
in this
here.
general
Says
vicinity.
subscribe.
Yes.
Yes.
So do that, and we'll catch you guys next time for Couples Wealth.
Thank you.
See ya.